Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I would like to talk about nuclear physics. So before we start introduction of nuclear physics, let me introduce our group members.
Now I will present about introduction. What is nuclear physics? Nuclear physics is one of the branch of physics such as modern physics, mathematical physics, and chemical physics. Nuclear physics also examines various types of nuclear matter as well as atomic nuclei, their components, and interactions. Nuclear physics in biology. The application of nuclear physics in biology have been very astounding, providing insight into atomic and molecular life process. This multidisciplinary field offers creative medical and scientific solutions by assisting in the study of cellular mechanisms, disease process, and environmental biology.
Now, let's move to the next part, application of nuclear. Radiation therapy, also known as radiotherapy, is a cornerstone in a cancer treatment. It uses high-energy radiation like X-rays or gamma rays to target and destroy cancer cells. But how does it work? Radiation therapy damages the DNA within cancer cells, stopping them from growing and dividing. There are two primary methods of delivery. The first one is external beam radiation therapy, where radiation is delivered from a machine outside the body, precisely aimed at the tumor. And the second one is brachytherapy, which involves placing radioactive material directly inside or near the tumor for a higher localized dose of radiation. And now you wonder, what is the benefits of radiotherapy? It is highly effective in treating various types of cancer. The cancer cells are effectively targeted while minimizing exposure to surrounding healthy tissues. It can be used alone, in combination with other treatments like surgery and chemotherapy. And lastly, thank you for advancement in technology. It have enhanced its precision, reducing side effects and improving patient outcomes. Now, let's move to next application.
Medical application brain imaging. Magnetic resonance imaging MRI. Magnetic resonance imaging MRI is a non-invasive medical imaging technique that uses strong magnetic field, radio wave, and a computer to produce detailed image of the inside of the body. It is commonly used to diagnose and monitor various medical conditions, as it provides clear and detailed view of soft tissue, organs, bones, and other internal structures. Basic principle: how MRI works. First, magnetic field alignment. A powerful magnet aligns the hydrogen atom in the body's water molecules. Second, radio wave. Pulse of radio wave are used to disrupt this alignment. Third, signal detection. As the hydrogen atom return to their original alignment, they emit signal which are captured by detectors. Lastly, image construction. These signals are processed by a computer to create detailed cross-sectional or 3D image. Advantages MRI. First, high resolution imaging. Second, superior visualization of soft tissue. Third, no exposure to ionizing radiation. And lastly, versatility in imaging different body parts.
Okay, so now I will talk about biological effect of the two applications, which is brain imaging and radiation therapy in cancer treatment. Biological effect of brain imaging consists of three things. The first one is temporary sensation, such as warmth or dizziness. The second one is changes in brain activity and heart rate. The last one of biological effect of brain imaging is contraindicated for individuals with certain metallic implants. In general, modern brain imaging technologies are highly safe and effective when used appropriately under medical guidance. But still, we must take a precaution as we do not want unwanted things to happen. Okay, so now I will talk about biological effect of radiation therapy in cancer treatment. Biological effect of radiation therapy in cancer treatment consists of three things. The first one I will talk about is mechanism of action. Mechanism of action consists of two things: direct DNA damage and indirect DNA damage. Okay, for direct DNA damage, radiation can directly ionize DNA, causing breaks in the DNA strands. Double-strand breaks are the most lethal type of damage, leading to cell death or loss of reproductive capability. For indirect DNA damage, radiation also ionizes water molecules, producing reactive oxygen species we call as ROS, such as free radicals. These ROS can damage DNA, proteins, and lipids. Alright, so for the next one is effects on cells. So there is three things that affects on cells, which is the cell cycle, apoptosis, and senescence. Right, so for the cell cycle, radiation is most effective during certain phases of the cell cycles, which is in G2 phases and M phases, when cells are most sensitive to DNA damage. Second one is apoptosis. Radiation induces programmed cell death in cancer cells. And the last one is senescence. Some cells may survive radiation but enter a state of senescence, which we call simply as losing the ability to divide. Okay, so for the last biological effect of radiation therapy in cancer treatment is tumor response, which consists of two things: oxygen effect and repopulation. Okay, so for the oxygen effect, oxygen enhances radiation induced damage. This is known as the oxygen enhancement ratio, we call simply as OER. Hypoxia, low oxygen, tumor regions are less responsive to radiation. So the next one is repopulation. Surviving tumor cells can proliferate between radiation sessions, which may limit treatment effectiveness. In conclusion, radiation therapy's effectiveness lies in its ability to exploit biological differences between cancer and normal cells, particularly in DNA repair capabilities and growth characteristics. Continued research aims to enhance its precision, reduce side effects, and improve outcomes.
Okay, for the last one, we'll move to safety and measurement. To ensure patient safety during brain imaging, we take the following precaution. For MRI, screening for metal implants or devices to avoid magnetic field interaction. We are also providing ear protection to reduce exposure to loud noises during the scan and limiting scan duration to minimize heating effect caused by radio frequency wave. For the second one is CT scans. We will using the as low as reasonable achievable or ALARA principle to minimize radiation exposure. We also tailoring doses for children and smaller patients and shielding non-targeted areas with lid aprons or thyroid shields. Okay, now for the next part is for radiation therapy. To minimize risk in radiation therapy, we implement this measure. The first one is treatment planning. Advanced imaging and computer modeling will optimize the dose delivered to the tumor while sparing surrounding healthy tissues. The second one is fractionation, which is dividing the total radiation dose into smaller fractions. It will reduce harm to healthy cells. And the last one is monitoring. We'll monitor the dosimeters to measure radiation exposure to ensure it stays within the safe limit. Okay, now for the last one is about measurement. The first one is dosimetry. We will ensure accurate measurement of radiation dose to minimize risk. The second one is radiobiological models. We will assess the relationship between dose and biological response. Quantify factors like cell survival, DNA damage, and repair. The third one is imaging metrics, which is technique like functional MRI and diffusion tensor imaging, monitor brain function and structural change post-therapy. The last one is biomarkers. We will evaluate radiation-induced biological changes such as DNA strand breaks, protein markers, or cellular stress response.